It's 7 o'clock, and you know what time it is. It's time for LidLine Sports. Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to LidLine Sports. Welcome back right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. I am Pep, and my man O is right across the way from me. What's up, O?
What up, Pepster? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. Had a nice weekend. How about you?
Yeah, it was a pretty chill weekend, but it was nice just being in 85-degree weather all weekend, and then
Uh-huh.
now seeing that it'll go into this week as well. Just got out a little bit, hung out with some friends, but
Okay.
no
Yeah.
sports. So
Oh, right.
I'm gonna try to get to. I think I'm gonna get to a Mariners game this weekend against the
Blue Jays?
Blue Jays. It's gonna be hectic up there.
Yeah, because all the
Canadians come down.
Canadians
Uh-huh.
from BC and whatnot. So yeah, I had a pretty lovely weekend. Took a ferry ride over to Bainbridge Island.
Nice.
Had a nice barbecue with some friends. Came back from that Saturday night, and then Sunday I spent the afternoon at the Seattle Center for Festival Sundiata, which was a very nice turnout
Okay.
and some good concerts. So yeah, it's been a good summer concert for me so far this year. So a quick headline rundown. We've got Wimbledon that was completed over the weekend with the men's and women's final. NFL training camps open up this week for 9 teams tomorrow. And in case you're wondering, the Seahawks don't open until next week on the 26th. DeAndre Hopkins has finally picked a team with the M's. We've got the same old, but we'll get more into that. And in the NBA, Cam Payne was traded. That was a surprise for me. I don't know about you. Oh, you seem to be up on Phoenix much more than anyone else, of course, especially around here.
Yeah, no, not too much of a surprise.
Okay.
A surprise nothing came back, but
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Cool. So I want to start off real quick with Wimbledon final. I didn't watch any of it. So
I didn't either.
Unfortunately, sorry, folks, you tennis fans. I don't try to be disrespectful. It's just not my thing.
It's funny because, usually my mom is really big into tennis.
Mhm.
Shout out Ronda Dorsey.
Yeah.
And I'll usually hear from her about what's going on in the tennis world, but I feel like ever since Serena has retired, she's kind of
gotten crickets
now.
on you.
Yeah, she's became more of just like your casual fan. I know she does still tune in, but she was like,
and plus Naomi had a baby, so
and
she's
Naomi
not
Osaka's
in there.
out.
Right.
Yeah, but my mom was anything to do with the Williams sisters. She has been super fans of them since.
Well, that's awesome, and that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's great. And yeah, quick shout out to Naomi Osaka on the birth of her child. So congratulations. So, but we can't wait to see you back on the court.
You know who she had a kid with?
I forget.
Trying to make you feel young. So he's a rapper. His name's Corday.
Corday,
yeah.
Yes.
He's actually really good though.
I never heard of the guy before until I saw the name. I was like, and then their baby is I forgot the name.
I don't know the name. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you might have.
Nah, I just know that they've
I saw it, but I just,
I just know they've been a couple, and he's a really good young rapper.
He's a good rapper.
Yeah,
Where's
he
from,
actually is. I want to say the DC area.
Oh, okay, DMV.
Yeah, somewhere over there.
Okay.
Don't quote me, but I feel like that's where he's from though.
Okay, so the men's final looks to me, by checking the score and from what I've seen on the news, that Carlos Alcaraz Garcia upset Djokovic.
Mm-hmm.
Djokovic handled the first set 6-1.
Okay.
Then the second set looked to be a super battle, and it ended up being 8-6 for Alcaraz Garcia. And then Garcia smoked him in the third set 6-1.
Okay.
And then in the fourth set, Djokovic came back and won that 6-3. So then the final was 6-4 for Alcaraz Garcia, who became the champ. And from what I understand, it's the first time in a decade that Djokovic had gotten beat. I forgot
In
what
the semifinals.
Yeah, there was a certain set. I forgot.
Okay.
I guess it was the 6-1 set
Okay.
that he got smoked, and he hadn't been smoked like that in like 10 years.
Interesting.
In
Okay.
Wimbledon. So man, that's pretty amazing. So and then Alcaraz Garcia was 8 years old when Djokovic started his reign.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And now he's 20. And so, so man, that's pretty amazing. And then in the women's finals, Marketa Vondrousova won in straight sets 6-4, 6-4 over Ons Jabeur, I guess. Now, look, I'm only reading these names, so I haven't seen the news. So if I screwed them up, please, I apologize. I mean no harm, but I'm just going by what I see.
Back to the men's. Alcaraz, though, he is the number one tennis player in men's, right?
I guess he is.
Yeah, I think he is. I think coming
Okay.
into this, he was.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was still considered an upset.
Yes.
You know, when you're going against Djokovic. So yeah. So shout out to Wimbledon, and I guess what the French Open would be next.
U.S. Open.
Oh, it's U.S. is in August, right? Which is coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I was just on the ESPN, and first thing it says who will win the U.S. Open.
Wimbledon.
You might be right.
French. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah.
And because I know U.S. is in August.
Rhonda Dorsey would know if you're listening.
Yes,
she'll
Rhonda,
know.
hook us up. Because I know that Wimbledon is grass, and then of course French is clay, right? And then U.S. is what?
She said. Nancy and Rhonda both said the U.S. Open is next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
thank
chiming in.
you.
So that means you're listening. We appreciate that. Yes, sir. So all right. So NFL training camps open officially tomorrow. We got 9 teams. That's going to start tomorrow. And those 9 teams are the 49ers, the New York Football Giants, New Orleans Saints, LA Chargers, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, and the Miami Dolphins. So, and the Seahawks don't start until next week on the 26th. Now, my question is there an advantage for teams starting off training camp like a whole week before another team? I don't know. I'm just guessing. I haven't never thought of that.
I mean,
but it seems weird.
You're taking in
such a gap.
Yeah, you're taking in so much with football. I mean, I'm sure there's 2 sides to it. I mean, there's the injury side, getting started early, and then getting that extra week of preparation for now a 17-week season. I'm guessing as coaches, you'd want to start earlier. I'm pretty sure the veterans would rather take that extra week off.
Right.
So I just think that there's there's pros and cons to it, definitely. But if you're a coaching staff, you want to get started as soon as possible. I mean, it's a long season coming up. So
yeah. But it's just a big gap to me, because tomorrow's the 18th.
Yeah.
And then the Seahawks don't even start until the 26th. And I don't know, who else starts in between there and if there's teams after the Seahawks. It's like, man, that's kind of a strong and long gap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might not make any difference whatsoever. So we'll find out, I guess. So I guess if there's, if they start off slow, I guess we're going to say, see, you should have started training camp earlier. So that'll be interesting to see. So anyway, in some NFL news, the New York Jets are going to be featured in the HBO series Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
Thank you. And from what I understand, they picked teams that didn't do so well the year before.
Oh.
So that's why it's called Hard Knocks.
Okay.
I like yesterday years old when I found that out.
I didn't know that was the reason why. I just thought it was teams that had storylines.
Right. I mean, because I know Detroit's been in it,
Uh-huh.
I think who else?
Oakland, or when they were
Raiders.
Oakland?
Yeah. So it's teams that haven't had good seasons.
Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense why the Seahawks has not been in it yet.
Right.
Because they have not
Right.
had a good season
Right.
in a while.
And it seems like that's something that Pete would not want to do.
Yeah, I can
That
see.
just doesn't seem like, he wants people to get in, to his the way he does things
Yeah.
at the VMAC.
I can see that.
Because we know he's kind of eccentric, kind of a weird kind of cat.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what makes him so likable, because even though he's kind of weird, he's a player's kind of weird.
Yeah.
The players love him,
Mhm.
right? So yeah. So that's kind of strange, but okay, cool. DeAndre Hopkins has chosen a team.
Mhm.
Do you know where he went?
Tennessee Titans, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Now, why?
I was gonna ask you. They got rid of their starting quarterback, right?
Nope. Tannehill's still
Oh,
there.
Tannehill's still there.
Tannehill's situation is kind of weird because his contract is
Massive, right?
massive.
Okay.
So it's not. See, they've been trying to get rid of him, right? They brought in Malik Willis last season, hoping that he would emerge and would supplant Tannehill. That didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't
Now
work.
they've drafted Will Levis,
Mhm.
and so hopefully they're gonna say, well, of course Tannehill's gonna start the first 4 games. You figure they got to be either 3-1, 4-0 for him to stick.
Mhm.
Because if they're anything worse, maybe 2-2 maybe. But if they're
Depends how 2-2 looks.
yes,
Uh-huh.
if they're 1-3 or 0-4,
Oh, yeah.
he's out of there. The problem is his contract is so big, so they gotta bring him. They have to bring him back,
Yeah.
right? But trust me, this is probably, if he doesn't do well, this is his last go round with Tennessee.
Mhm.
So, but of course, like many other shaky quarterbacks like Andy Dalton, he'll find a job,
Mhm.
Probably next year somewhere. But
Who else was reaching out to Hopkins?
okay, well, Hopkins, there's a lot of teams. We all know. Okay, let me slow down. Hopkins, of course, had stated that he wanted to play for a contender, right?
Uh-huh.
Of course, we've all heard that.
Yeah.
We've seen that movie before, and then it turns out that they signed for the most money, and which is precisely what happened here. The problem is, teams like Kansas City, San Francisco
don't have the money.
They don't have the cap space, and frankly, they really don't need him.
Yeah.
San Francisco don't need him.
Yeah, to make proper moves to even bring him in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Teams that need him are teams like Tennessee, Carolina, those type of teams. I'm surprised that he didn't go to Chicago.
Okay.
Because Chicago, with Justin Fields, and then they got a good running back, and then they picked up a wide receiver from Carolina, right? So I thought that would have been a great spot for him because it looks like Chicago could be up and coming.
Yeah.
Right? And they're still young, and they got a nice young quarterback that looks to be maybe take steps like kind of like Jalen Hurts did for Philly.
Yep.
Right? So, but he goes to Tennessee with their shaky quarterback situation and with a running back heavy offense.
Yep.
So
that's what I was confused about.
Right.
And it's the irony is the guy who was doing most of the recruiting was what's the running back's name?
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. That was the one he took the picture with a couple of days ago, working out with him. So I'm assuming that was a guy that was. I'm pretty sure they already have built some type of relationship. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a guy that was recruiting him the hardest. But yeah, he's not going to be taking touches away from Derrick Henry though.
You would think not.
Yeah.
Not
with the quarterback situation how it is.
But see, like targets. When you're a great wide receiver, man, you love them targets.
Yeah.
And DeAndre Hopkins is used to like over 120 plus targets per season. Now, when AJ Brown was in Tennessee, he was getting 80, 90, barely 100 targets.
Yeah.
So what makes Hopkins or anybody else think that they're going to double that, they're going to, ramp that up when you still have Derrick Henry, unless he gets hurt. And of course, I don't want that. But I don't know. That's just what's weird to me. I mean, it's like, all right, it's the most money. We get that.
Yeah.
Get your bag, get your money. I'm not mad at you for that, but just say that.
Yeah.
Just don't tell us that you're there to look for the team that can give you the best chance to win. We know that's not Tennessee.
I would have liked to see Baltimore, even though I know that they could not make it work
Mm-hmm.
money wise, but
Right.
to see OBJ and what's his name again?
Hopkins.
And Hopkins line up right. Hopkins line up right aside from each other. I thought would have been really dope. That it also fits the narrative of a team that is trying to win right now and compete at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
The another one that I would have really liked, but I know not only the money's not there, but also they have plenty of wide receivers. Would have been the Miami Dolphins.
Oof.
I think I saw that name, but I'm pretty sure it was just rumor, speculation, because just like you said, there's no way cap wise it could have worked unless he would have just took significant less.
Right.
But that would have been an explosive offense given Tua another
Man.
Big target.
Hill,
man.
Waddle, Hopkins.
Man.
Man.
Barrios, yeah, man, that would have been really really nice to see. But just like you said, other than that though, I mean, yeah, of course, San Francisco would have been really nice.
The problem is he went to the Titans and they're in the AFC, and the AFC right now is top heavy.
Yeah.
And they got too many teams much better than them for them to even be a contender. Heck, they shouldn't even win their own division because Jacksonville looks strong, especially towards late in the season. They look like they got it together.
Could he have went there?
Yeah, I think he could have.
Okay.
I think they probably have the room. Now, I don't know the situation of whether they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's the case. So who knows? But that's just a real, other than, of course, they gave him a bag. That was a head scratcher for me.
$12 million guaranteed, right?
Correct. Okay. Sorry. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So that was kind of weird, but oh well. Hey, good for him, and his family, right?
Definitely.
So, that's awesome. Let's see. There was something else going on in the NFL, and I can't remember what it was. Because I know Derrick Henry had spoken up about the state of the running back.
Oh, speaking of running back, that was the other thing. Saquon Barkley.
Thank you. That's the one. Man, you all up in my noggin. I like that.
Right back off each other.
I like that. Yes. Saquon Barkley has not agreed to a contract, so he will have to. If he does come to play, he will be playing for the franchise.
So what I read is because he has not signed a franchise tag, he can hold out without losing money.
Okay, good for him.
So yeah, question I do have for you is, do you think he is trying to reset the running back market? And do you think that they are way far apart off in money?
Yeah, he might be trying, but I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I feel like it's just so tough in today's era of football to, get real.
And you know who ruined it?
I feel like you're going to say the name. Go ahead.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
He ruined it. And he knows he ruined it. He even said that he should have taken Pittsburgh's money.
Okay.
He said that was the biggest mistake he made, was leaving Pittsburgh and not taking what was offered him. And I think Barkley, I think he's trying to prove a point, and I think he will sit out probably a few games.
Oh, into the regular season.
I do.
Wow.
I think he will. Because he's going to want to prove a point how much they need him.
I was going to say, I mean, the only thing, I guess, especially him and Derrick Henry, you're talking about two offenses that are surrounded around them. So, yeah, I get you got to pay a quarterback and he needs weapons. But when your offense is featured through your running back, I feel like that should give Saquon Barkley room to come to the table and said, hey, I understand what the running back market is, but what I do for this team is not what other running backs do.
Right.
For other
but
teams.
Here's what the Giants brass is going to say. They're going to say, well, you get hurt a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
You missed a lot of games.
Yeah.
You'd miss a half a season, so what are we paying for?
Yeah.
So Yeah, I mean Barkley's talented. Obviously, when he played here in Seattle, the Seahawks actually stopped him.
Yeah.
That was one of the few games that the Seahawks actually stopped and stuffed the run. In that particular, which is ironic, right? So, if the Giants want to say, "Hey, look what you did against the Seahawks," nothing. But so that's a tape they probably want to keep on, on standby just in case he starts talking trash. But no, but we all know who he is. He's an all-pro running back. He's definitely what, top 4,
Yeah, agree.
with Henry and Chubb and McCaffrey, so he's right up there.
So do you think this also has to do with Daniel Jones and the extension he got as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, quiet as it's kept.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, we all thought that what Daniel Jones got was
Overpaid.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, 40 plus a year
Mm-hmm.
for him. Where is he taking him? But what was their alternative? That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, were they going to bring in Marcus Mariota, right? Or were they going to try and get Derek Carr, who eventually went to New Orleans? And and that's a sleeper team right there in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only thing is, if Thomas, if he can get back on the field, oh my God, because they got Olave, and of course the Alvin Kamara situation.
Didn't he ask for
weird.
A trade?
Who
last year? Thomas.
Early.
Okay.
And then he rescinded it.
Okay.
Gotcha. So, and then so we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think as what you just said, I mean, if you paid that man Daniel Jones $160 million and you're not willing to want to even come close to meeting what I want, then let's see what your $160 million man can do without me.
There you go.
And this is just business. Yeah, it's nothing personal against Daniel Jones. Yeah, I mean, if that's the approach that Saquon Barkley's going to take, I get it and I understand. And if you're a New York Giants fan, I hope you understand as well because.
And they got no leverage to trade him, right?
Nope.
I mean, because whoever says, okay, we'll take him, but we're only going to give you 5th round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not getting a top 3 round pick or whatever. Because we know you want to get rid of him or you need to get rid of him and he wants to go. So they're not going to get.
And you need help now.
Yeah. Right. So
agree.
Good luck. Yeah, but that's pretty interesting. But look, the Seahawks don't have that problem yet. Because Ken Walker is only in his 2nd season coming up, and you got 2 rookies behind him.
Yep.
In Charbonnet and McIntosh. So we don't have that problem yet. And of course, the 2 rookies are yet to be proven. We're just going by what we've seen in college, and they look dynamite. And from what I understand, in the first OTAs and whatnot, those 2 looked awesome. So, which is good.
Okay.
But there's nobody, chasing them or whatever. You get the idea. And of course, you hear all about wide receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's my guy, who I wanted them to pick at number 20. So if he doesn't pan out, I can't say nothing because I wanted him. So
I think you're not the only person. I think everybody was really ecstatic over that pick. So
well, the thing about it is, I knew where they picked at number 20 that he was a possibility. So I was saying, we got to get this guy. And when they picked him, I was like, oh my God, they listened.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't just listen to me, but you know what I'm saying? It made me feel that way.
Yeah.
So just let me stick to that.
Pep, back to Saquon real quick. So the Giants' first 3 games would be at home against the Cowboys, on the road against the Cardinals, and on the road against the 49ers.
Okay, so they're losing to the Cowboys because every time the Giants play the Cowboys early like that, they lose.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where they're at. And I mean, because I used to live back there, so I've paid attention. So they're going to lose that one. Then the second game is against who?
Cardinals, on the road.
But the Cardinals, kind of shaky.
Yeah, I agree.
They should beat that. They should win that. And then the third game?
49ers on the road.
Yeah, they're losing that.
Yeah, and then
so they're going to be 1-2 right off the bat,
and then possibly Seahawks and the Giants. I mean, and then the Dolphins the next 2 games. So
Seahawks at home, they play at home. They might give the Seahawks some trouble, but I expect the Seahawks to win that game.
Okay, I'm saying all this with if Saquon does not play.
Oh, if he doesn't play, the Seahawks better win that.
Okay.
Game. There's no excuse.
So basically, you're saying that if Saquon sits, there's going to be some real pressure on the Giants because
Absolutely.
they expect to win this year. They expect to be a formidable team.
Well, then Daniel Jones is going to have to he's going to have to be Dan Marino.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with no Barkley, then who's their running back? I don't even know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked that far in advance to check their roster. It's too early because I don't even know who's going to make the team or whatever. I don't know who their rookies are or who who was behind Barkley last season because he was out for a few games. So who did they start? Yep. I don't even know either. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting to find out. But I expect if there's no Barkley,
that's possibly 1-4 is what you're saying.
That's what I'm looking at. And that one is going to be shaky at Arizona. Yeah. But the thing about it is Kyler Murray's probably not going to be ready.
Nope.
So they got no excuse not to win that game unless I don't who's their backup? Who's the Cardinals backup?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's too early. We don't know yet, folks. Sorry. This is not mid-September. This is July. Okay, so we don't know yet. But all right. So we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we're gonna continue on with some talk. We're gonna talk about the Mariners a little bit, and then of course we're gonna let O spin off on the NBA. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Would you like to see when your favorite Rainier Avenue Radio show comes on? Check out our show schedule, updated weekly at rainieravenue.world.
Hey, this is Tony Benton of Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio is a people-oriented media outlet dedicated to amplifying the diverse voices of our community. We're asking you to make a difference and invest in our independent organization so that we can continue to enrich our community through the programs that you love. We need your help. We're kicking off our summer campaign to support Rainier Avenue Radio. From now until August 1st, we're asking you to make a gift in support of our work. Your collective contribution support programs like Call to Conscience Museum, Make Music Day, our summer youth classes, and our generational wealth campaign. Go to rainieravenue.radio.world and click Donate to make a gift. Thank you for partnering with us to amplify diverse voices in our community.
1, 2, get down!
What's up, big and little homies? This is Masvita Maraire, host of Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, your one-stop shop for Seattle sports. We cover preps, we cover college, we cover pro, we cover it all. Huskies, Mariners, Seahawks, Garfield, South, Roosevelt, Metro, King County. This is what you want to listen to for all the sports that's happening in Seattle. Seattle Sports Weekly on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
If you or a family member are 55 or over and need nursing home level care, but want to keep living where you are, check out Providence Elder Place PACE. This program offers healthcare, housing, transportation, and recreational activities. There are no co-pays or deductibles, and it's covered through Medicare and Medicaid. Providence Elder Place PACE works to keep you healthy and in your home. Call 206-320-5325 or visit providence.org Elder Place. Providence.org Elder Place.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Welcome back to LidLine Sports right here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We know that Rainier Avenue Radio is a people-oriented media outlet dedicated to amplifying and the diversity of our voices in our community. We are asking you to make a difference and invest in our independent organization so that we can continue to enrich our community. through the programs that you love. We are kicking off our summer campaign to support Rainier Avenue Radio. From now until August 1st, we are asking you to make a gift in support of our work. Go to Rainier Avenue Radio.world and click on donate to make a gift. It helps fund programs like ours, your favorite LidLine Sports. Every gift matters, and we are working to raise the resources needed to fund our programming. Oh, man. The Mariners.
Yes, sir.
Same old, same old. They gave us hope, man. I mean, just before the All-Star break, they beat Tampa Bay in a series. They took 2 out of 3, then went on the road and went to San Francisco and took 2 out of 3 from there. Then went down to H-Town and took 3 out of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were like, man, when's the parade starting?
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, the All-Star break happened, and then everything, all the eyes focused on Seattle, the city, the stadium, and, of course, a little bit of hope for the Mariners coming out of the break. So after the All-Star game and all the festivities and all the hoopla and rah-rah, the Mariners came out and just laid an egg.
Yeah.
Lost 2 out of 3 to the Detroit Tigers, who are like 10 games under. And, so what's up with that?
I'm not overly surprised. I'm going to call that the All-Star Week hangover.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like that. I think the second game, when George Kirby was pitching, I didn't like that. Both, honestly, George Kirby and Luis Castillo just did not have good games at all pitching wise. But then on top of that, the non-hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think one game, Castillo pitched, they put up 4 runs.
Mm-hmm.
But 1 run when Kirby pitched. It just keeps,
No, they got shut out, actually.
Oh, 6-0.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they just keep, going back and forth, and it's going to be the demise of them if they cannot get some consistent baseball going in these next 2 months. Now, I'm trying to be the optimistic fan because I hear a lot of people like you now, Pep, like the energy is like almost getting sucked out of the room when it comes to Mariners fans, and I'm trying to stay optimistic because we are only 4 games out from
wild card.
The wild card. They have made a little bit made up some room against the Houston Astros in the second place in the AL West. I don't think we will catch up to the Texas Rangers unless something catastrophic happens over there, but they're playing really good baseball. So the goal is, I think we can throw the AL West pennant out the room and focus on getting the wild card position. There's 3 now, second year for that. So the good things that are happening, the Yankees aren't playing that well. The Astros aren't really playing that well. So, but the bad thing is the AL East is like every team in the AL East is in contention, and 4 or out of the 5 in the AL West is in contention. Luckily, well, knock on wood, I don't like injuries, but Mike Trout got hurt again.
Right.
Ohtani was hurt for a little bit, but he's now came back. So it's, but yeah, also too, the Boston Red Sox are playing better baseball now. So they're just putting themselves. So now 5 games out. They're putting themselves in a hole that they're not going to be able to get out of, and it's going to be really disappointing. And I would hope that if the Mariners do not make the playoffs, that would be the end of Scott Service. I don't know if. Well, I know that they're a 1-2 punch. What's the Dipoto? But I'm not. I can't. It's hard to really blame it all on Dipoto because you have an owner who is clearly telling Dipoto to spend this amount of money.
Right.
So now my thing is, okay. So what do we just now? I just hope we don't get into this point where it just becomes the Ohtani sweepstakes, and that's the only way to kind of like keep the excitement going for the rest of the season, going to the off season, because that is I don't even know the word for it, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I mean, people are ready. That's what the fans have just like totally went away from the Mariners season and went and just took everything that Ohtani said over the All-Star break and just ran with it. I have a close friend who is a Mariners fan, and he came back and told me how Ohtani said that he spends some of his off time in Seattle. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Ichiro is here. We were a team that he was considering when he first came in the league.
Correct.
None of that means anything because
Nothing.
he still didn't choose the Mariners, regardless of all that said. Number two, you know how many players probably come up to Seattle for a few weeks during the offseason? Seattle's a beautiful city, so that's not surprising. And on top of that, yes, he has Japanese roots here with Ichiro, so that's not surprising.
Right.
The question is going to be, are the Mariners going to fork over and open the vault and give that big bag that he is going to command? Because we know the teams that are. The Dodgers, the Angels probably will, the Mets, the Yankees, and the Dodgers, possibly the Padres. So are the Mariners going to even start with that? Are they even going to do that? And like I said, it just sucks that we have to talk about this right now. And I get it. Trade deadline is coming up.
Yeah.
You don't know because the Angels are starting to sputter. So possibly. Now, the question is if we can get off the Mariners for a second, Pep, if you are the Angels front office, you are in a really tough bind right now. You have to be really realistic, but also want to give yourself hope that you can obtain Ohtani. Now, if you really sit back and if you have even, I mean, of course there's doubt, but if you really are starting to inch towards that you may not retain him, do you really consider trading him at the deadline and get the biggest offer you can for this guy? Or
Yes.
Okay. Now why?
Why? Here's why. Well, the Angels with Ohtani and Mike Trout have been mediocre.
Agree.
Does Ohtani want to still continue to be mediocre?
No.
Because they're mediocre right now.
Yeah.
They actually let the Mariners pass them.
Yeah.
So, and we know how mediocre they've been.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the Angels have a shot at retaining him.
Okay.
Unless they go nuts the second half of the season. I don't see that happening.
So do you take that risk?
They're in an I would not want to be a GM for the Angels right now because they are in an impossible. Because any team that bids for him right this very second is a rental.
True. That is true.
It's a rental.
That is
so
true.
You're going to give up. Are you going to give up the farm for a 2-month rental?
But that's what the Angels are going to ask for, as they should.
As they should.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's going to happen. Now, will a deal be consummated? I don't know.
Okay.
It's going to be hard to say. Unless they get a deal, something they figured, well, this is the best we're going to get, and we don't want to pass it up. Because, look, you don't want to do like the Mariners did when they lost A-Rod.
Yeah.
Because that set them back years.
Yep.
When they lost A-Rod and got nothing.
Yep.
They took a gamble and lost, right? And so the Angels know that, and they don't want to. And look, Ohtani might be the best player
to touch a baseball. I mean, let's be honest.
Look, if gun to my head and they said who's the best player ever, I'm going to say Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you. You're talking about an elite pitcher.
And I love Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, Frank Robinson, all that. I love all them guys. But look, Ohtani, they didn't pitch.
Exactly.
And Babe Ruth pitched 2 seasons, and he said, I'm done.
Yeah.
So they're in an impossible place.
So if you are the Angels, you are, though, at least fielding offers.
Yeah, you got to entertain it.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay.
Yeah, you got no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, whether you actually act on it, that's kind of hard to say.
So now back to the Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
They given up a lot of their farm. So I don't see them necessarily emptying out the farm of what's even left for Ohtani. I don't see that happening. Now, do they have players? Yes, but just like you said, if you're the Angels, I want the farm. I want your top 4 to 5 players in your farm.
Well, the Mariners would have to do it then if they want Ohtani bad enough.
But
because Ohtani's 2 guys in 1.
That's why I was saying
pitching. So if you have to give up Gilbert or
Kirby, one of those 2 it'll probably be Kirby,
Emerson Hancock,
Harry Ford, all those guys.
See ya.
Yes. Yeah. And now if the Angels can't find anything better than it, then yeah.
But the Mariners are going to have to be assured that they can sign him.
Yeah.
I mean, now for 2 months, I'm not doing that. If I'm the Mariners, because the Mariners are not in a good position now to get Ohtani and think they're going to get you over the hump.
Exactly.
Because that's not that case. As good as he is, he can't even get the Angels over the hump.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with the Mariners in the same mediocrity?
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Now I am hearing though that the Mariners will attempt to dangle Kirby or Gilbert for the right hitter to come back.
Right.
So I'm okay with that. I would rather Gilbert because I really do like George Kirby. But for the right all-star, I'm okay with it. We are the best in pitching this year again.
Well, yeah, but the way the Mariners are going now, they're going to be sellers more than buyers, I think.
Okay.
I think the big seller is going to be Teoscar. I think he's going to be gone. I think, because the Mariners right now, looking at the score right now, the Mariners
2-0, right?
are down 2-0, okay, against the Twins, who's basically a mirror image of the Mariners.
Yeah.
The Twins strike out more than any team in baseball, except including the Mariners. They're number one. The Mariners are number two.
Okay.
The Twins have a bunch of guys that batting in the low 200s. Carlos Correa is batting 230. Right, and you're paying him a
lot of money,
right? Byron Buxton can't even play in the outfield now because he's so hurt that he has to DH the whole season, and he is a platinum glove in the outfield.
Wow,
not a gold glove. This guy was a platinum glove, right? And he can't even play the outfield, but yet they're in first place in the Central with a mediocre record like the Mariners.
I hate that division.
And then right now they're up 2-0.
Yeah. Once again, the bats aren't doing anything. Yep. I understand they have a pretty solid pitch on the mound, but you got to find ways to get people on base.
Yep. And then when you talk about the Texas Rangers, they beat the Rays today 3-2.
Yep.
So they're still rolling, right? And then they're playing against a team they'll probably see in the playoffs.
Yep.
So, so they're still getting it done. So yeah, man, the Mariners. Look, I listened to Bump and Stacy today, and I have to give Bump some credit because Michael Bumpus, he was saying, we're all frustrated with the Mariners, but you know what? Why are we gonna wake up mad about them every day?
That's where I guess I'm at.
Yeah, why?
We're talking about a team who didn't make the playoffs for what 15 years, 18
20
years, 20 years straight. I mean,
yeah. But this season's disappointment. So now we're just gonna bash them every single day. What's the point?
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with that. Even though I'm still the one bashing them, because right now I got to, because right now it's my job. I got to be on here and try and give you what I think is happening and whatnot.
I agree.
So, I'm tired of bashing them, and that's the thing. This season has been, it seems like all our guys that we counted on are all having mediocre seasons.
Yep.
The only one that's really doing well would be Crawford and Kelnick.
Yep.
And I'm happy for Kelnick that he's doing good, but everybody else has been trash.
Yeah.
And they made terrible decisions in bringing La Stella, who lasted about a month and a half, in 2 months, and then AJ Pollock has been trash as in DH. Colton Wong has been so bad they had to bring up Caballero, who wasn't even on the radar.
Yeah.
Right, in spring training and for this season, and he's been with us all year, and he's been doing pretty well. And thank goodness for him. And so, and the list goes on and on. Of course, we could say the pitching has been. Let's say I won't say it's been outstanding. I'll say it's been very good.
Okay.
Because we've had its moments that they been faltered, but that happens to every team. But the problem is we just can't hit, man.
Nope.
Day after day, game after game, we can't hit.
Agree.
And what are they doing right now? They're down 2-0, right? And how many hits do they have? Well, looking at it right now, they got 2 big hits, and we're going in the 4th inning. They got 2 hits. So and the Twins, they've got 5 right now.
No, I hear your frustration.
Yeah. So, man, it's just same thing over and over and over, man, with the Mariners. Oh, boy. And and we're in July, and they're what are they? 46 and 46. And so that's how many games is that? That's what, 92, something like that.
92.
Yeah. So they got 70 some odd games. So out of those 70 games, look, they got 46 wins. So let's just say 90 is your bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got how many? You got 44 more games to get to 90, or wins, excuse me, to get to 90. So if they were getting to, so they play 70, so that means they have to win 44. They got to be like 44 and
so it's around like 600 baseball.
28 or something like that. Yeah. So they got to be 15 to 16 games over 500 for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
To even get a sniff. Now that 90 might not even be enough.
Nope.
That's just to get to 90 wins, right? Like they did the last 2 seasons.
Yep.
So man, you got, and plus you can't look just at that. You also have to look at how many teams are ahead of you.
A lot.
Now we know the AL Central is just going to have one team in, and that's going to be the champion. We get that. Okay, so the AL West has 4 teams that are vying for a playoff spot.
Yep.
And then in the AL East, the whole division,
all 5,
are all over 500, and all of them are ahead of the Mariners.
That's crazy.
So how do you think you're going to get in the playoffs when you got the climb over 6 or 7 teams? And you got to remember, those 6, 7 teams play each other.
4 picks against Gross.
A couple of those teams are still going to keep winning.
Preseason. Who the hell takes the third game in the preseason? In the third game, everybody played
the ones that
who we thought they were.
But still.
That's why we took the damn fields. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
That's right, Denny.
They are who they thought they were.
Yes, exactly, Denny. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Appreciate you, man. Right from the grave, but appreciate you, brother. Man, yeah. So I'm not happy that my Yankees are bringing up the rear in the AL East, man. Come on. They lost the series to the Colorado Rockies. I mean, come on.
Well, ever since Aaron Judge has gone down there, have, just the bats have just not been there. So.
Yeah. So right now, as I'm looking, they're tied with the Red Sox at 50 and 44, which is still significantly better than what the Mariners record is.
Yep.
Which is, wow. Okay. The Twins are 48 and 46. And if they win, they'll be 3 games over. And the Guardians are 46 and 48. So it's the Twins and the Guardians, because the Tigers and White Sox, they're way far back, and the Royals are in oblivion.
Agree.
With the Athletics. So, but the Mariners are ahead of the Rangers. I wish the Mariners are ahead of the Angels. That's the thing. When the Mariners went on that run against Tampa, Giants, and Houston, that's where they passed LA Angels.
Because they haven't been playing that good.
No. And the Astros are 10 games over, right? And then, of course, Texas is 17 games over and climbing, right? Yep. So they're rolling. So, yeah. It's going to be tough sailing, folks, tough sledding. So instead of waking up ticked off of what happened the night before, a loss or a strikeout in a key moment, can't get runners over, just, forget it. Just one game at a time, one batter at a time, one pitch at a time. That's all we got. That's all we can worry about right now. That's all the Mariners can worry about, right? Stop worrying about who's ahead of you and this, that, and the other. Just try to play ball and win the game.
Agree.
The game that you're playing right then and there,
Agree.
And then hopefully things roll up somehow. Gravity says, okay, I'll bring you up instead of down. So, yeah, it's wishful thinking, but oh well. Did you see the WNBA All-Star game at all?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't. I watched probably more Summer League than I watched WNBA over the last couple of
I
weeks.
didn't watch a thing because I was out, but it was nice to see the Seattle Storm's Jewel Lloyd, the Gold Mamba herself, get 31 points, break a record for the WNBA All-Star game, and win the MVP.
Okay, nice.
And Breanna Stewart's team, which Lloyd was on, beat Asia Wilson's team from Vegas,
Who she had everybody on her team.
and they lost by 16.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And Kelsey Plum had 30.
Nice.
Yeah, so she was getting down. So yeah, so shout out to Jewel Lloyd, because I'm telling you, when Jewel Lloyd missed that game, Storm have zero chance.
Oh, nothing. I mean, I've watched them play a couple times. They can't score without her. I
No.
mean, they can barely score with her. So
Yes.
they're force feeding her. So
Yes. Yeah.
Did
So
you have you gotten to watch any NBA Summer League?
I have. I watched a little bit. I saw Victor
Mhm.
Wembanyama last week before he got shut down. I saw the first game, actually.
Uh-huh.
I didn't see the second game when he got 27,
but
I did see the first game, and it was like,
yeah,
about what I expected. 2 for 13, but first game kind of, you got all the cameras, eyes, and all that stuff.
I don't think he was playing his game first game.
No.
He just I think awestruck, and then it's a whole different game. I have watched a lot of Summer League, and I am really impressed with this group of rookies. From all the way to the second round, they've all played really well. Even just going to Imani Bates, who got drafted in the second round, he has played lights out for the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are going to win the NBA Summer League today.
Whoa!
Last time I checked, they were up 16 points against the Houston Rockets. Everybody
have they lost any games?
No, both of those teams were undefeated.
Ooh.
And then I'll give Houston. I think if Houston had everybody, it would have been a much better game. Houston was without Tari Eason.
Oh, okay.
Their top 5 pick, and Asar.
I'm surprised he's playing Summer League.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He played real well
for
the Rockets.
Those guys only played like a couple of games,
and
then they stopped playing. But yeah, I definitely wanted to give a shout out to this rookie class. That everybody who I watched has had some type of shining moment where you're like, okay, like they're gonna be all right for these next couple of years. You may not see it right away with some of these guys, but some of them are ready to contribute right now. And that is really good to see. I think Cam Whitmore of Villanova, who fell to 20, he was Summer League MVP. Averaged 20 points a game. So
who's
good
he play
pickup
for?
The Houston Rockets. Fell to them. So good pickup for them.
They got some young talent.
Yeah, man. Which was why I get it. You want to bring a veteran leadership in for the Toronto Raptors. I guess I wish it didn't come from guards, since you have so many guards in Houston. But I really do like what the Houston Rockets are doing, and it shows with them getting to the NBA Summer League championship, with all the young talent they have, bringing in the players that they bring in, and now having Ime Udoka. Yep. So yes, I don't think they'll make the playoffs for the play-in next year, but I think you will see a leap. They're not going to be the team that is just getting beat up on and not playing any defense.
Right.
That won't be this year. So I definitely wanted to give them some kudos.
35 wins?
Yeah, I think you can get 30-plus wins.
Okay.
Which is, like I said, that's an improvement. And that's what you now want to see.
There you go.
You want to see those OKC steps over these next couple years.
Speaking of them, look, I'm not trying to give fake Sonics any love, but I am rooting for Chet.
Yeah, and he looked really good in Summer League as well.
That guy. I want him to be dope.
He's gonna.
But in a loss.
Yeah. I think that people are kind of, Xing him, not necessarily Xing him out, but they're kind of just giving Rookie of the Year to Wembanyama already. I think he's gonna have something to say for that.
I do too.
But the difference, I think, is yes, the ball's gonna go through Wembanyama, while the ball's gonna go through Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for OKC. But
as it should,
yeah, exactly. But his impact is gonna be all over the floor, just like Wembanyama's is gonna be as well. So yeah, I think they're both gonna be good. And then you talked about it early on. There was a little minor trade. The Phoenix Suns traded Campaign, got some second-round draft picks, then also went after that and signed Bol to bolster their roster.
Yes.
Now people are confused, like, oh, wow, that was now your only point guard on your roster. Well, I told you before, Pep, I already knew that Brad Beal and Devin Booker were going to be in the backcourt. They're saying that Brad Beal will be starting point guard. I mean, height-wise, yes, but I think who will have most of the ball handling duties will be Devin Booker. But I think I heard somebody also say that Kevin Durant can bring the ball to court. Devin Booker can. Brad Beal can. So and I don't understand why it's taking kind of so long to. I wish we can kind of get rid of the whole point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, because there's so many, especially guards. They can play multiple positions, do multiple things. We've saw Devin Booker.
They're gonna have to change the names to like backcourt specialist,
something,
wing specialist.
Yeah, something. I even just like guard, wing, big.
Right.
I like that. Like I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also want to give a shout out to Campaign because this was a guy when he got the Phoenix Suns was halfway out the league. So to see him, get his way back in the league, get some money into it as well.
Yeah.
I hope that everything. I think he's going into a solid situation too in San Antonio, being the backup point guard there with the team who has this superstar caliber player in Wembanyama. I think he's in a good situation there as well. So
who else did San Antonio have though? Because
Trey Jones is there.
Okay.
He is the point guard who I think is really good too.
Right.
They're really young, so I don't expect them to be fighting for a play-in spot.
Okay.
This is just a team you want to see get over the hump. And then we're all still waiting. I just had to get it out. We're still waiting for the Jalen Noel signing. Last I'm hearing now, Toronto and Washington are options. So let's keep an ear out for our Seattle brother and Jalen Noel, and
get out of Minnesota though. Please.
Yes, that is definitely I think what he wants to do.
God. Please get out of Minnie, man.
Oh, and LeBron switching back to 23.
Yeah,
for Bill Russell.
Yeah, whatever, man. Oh my gosh. I mean,
did you see him how he announced on
the
SBs how he's come back? We all really thought he was retiring.
I didn't. I never thought that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, man, thank you very much, man. We're out of time, but I appreciate everything you say and contribute, man. You were awesome today,
as well,
as usual. Daniel, thank you again. So we'll be back next week. So don't go, don't forget us. We'll be back next week right here on LidLine Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio. .world.
Yes, sir.